Welcome back to the Smoking DJ. Today we're going to be making a quick chicken dinner. We're working with the almost 4-pound chicken. Not a big one, just a baby. It has the giblets inside, so we're going to go ahead and pull those out. What we're going to do with this chicken is we're going to grill it today. The way we're going to grill it, I'm not going to go ahead and part it. We're going to do a spatchcock cut. And what that means is you cut out the backbone using these cooking shears. And then you open up the chicken, you're able to season it, and we'll put it out on the grill for a couple minutes. Make sure it gets cooked correctly, and then we'll cut it and serve it. It's going to be delicious. Ingredients I'm working with, like always, my favorite: salt, pepper. Right, we're going to throw some rosemary. So rosemary itself, you guys can buy this. We actually have a fresh rosemary plant. Chopped up some garlic as well. So that's the rosemary, the garlic. I do have some butter, and I got it kind of soft here, right? And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw the garlic, I'm going to throw the rosemary, salt and pepper in there, and then eventually I'm going to do this chicken seasoning. It's really good. It has a lot of salt, so you got to be careful on the salt that you have here. But it has turmeric, paprika, spices, garlic, onion powder. So it's a really good chicken seasoning. So these at your regular local supermarkets. So we're going to go ahead and start off here with the opening of the chicken. And we'll place that here. Hang on a second. There you go. I should have gotten a different knife for this, but I'll wrap this sucker. And what I did, I'm using this parchment paper here in order for it to be an easy cleanup. And once I get all the giblets and everything out of the chicken itself, I'll show you guys how to cut out the backbone. With the backbone, once you guys are done with it, cool thing about it, you can throw it in the fridge and then use it for some stock. So, see that? You want to get all that out of here. Yeah. So you have to dig in here. Get all the chicken livers, the hearts, everything out. See what we got. Okay, that's just a rib cage. Alright, and we're good to go. So what you want to do first off, you want to find the backbone, which is here in the middle. It's right down the middle, right? Super important. We're working with chicken. We're working with pork. Any type of protein that could give you salmonella. You want to make sure that you wash your hands constantly, and you want to wash them with soap. It's really important, especially after touching things. So, what I'll do, you know what? I'll get the scissors going, but then I'll wash my hands before I do any of the seasoning stuff like that. There you go. You can feel the actual backbone when you start cutting here. There you go. That's one side, right? So see, there's the backbone there. Okay, just like a regular backbone. And then you want to feel it on this side. You want to go on the left. There we go. There we go. See, that's the backbone right there. So save this. You can make a good chicken broth. Okay. So now we have this open here. Let me just cut this here for it to lay nice and flat. Okay. And here in the middle, this is the breastbone, right? It's just, you got the breast on the other side. And what you want to do, you kind of want to cut into that a little bit. Nothing too crazy. There you go. Just for it to kind of, there you go. It'll allow the, see, that's all cartilage right there. So you want to be able to open it up when you flip it over, right? So now this is where I'm going to wash my hands before I continue on with the other ingredients. Give me a second here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my butter. Got a fork. I'm going to throw the chopped up garlic, the parsley. There you go, just like that. Make sure that I grab everything. And again, this is to taste. This is it's a personal preference, really, of how much you want in there. I'll throw some, just a little bit of salt. Again, this particular seasoning is really salty, so you don't want to throw too much. Now, black pepper, I love, right? So I want to throw some on here. There you go. Okay. Now, since I do have the chicken open, I'm not going to do much on the inside, right? Because that's more or less the bones and the underside of it. But you still want to go ahead and season that, right? Because it'll give it the flavor from the bottom. And then we'll get it going, just like so. And again, this is the bottom part. So do this here. Put my shoes down there to get washed. Very good. And before I touch the chicken again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start mixing this up. So mix the butter up with all the ingredients that you put in there: the salt, the pepper, the garlic, the fresh rosemary. I almost said parsley. You could use parsley if you want as well. Just for this video, we're using rosemary, and again, it's fresh, but you could use dried. See, it gives you a good mixture here with the butter. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna flip this puppy over like so. So find an opening with your thumb, and then you're gonna put your thumb in here. You're gonna loosen up all that skin. Okay, you wanna put your thumb. Again, find an opening. There we go. Want to loosen up that skin. And the reason why is because we want to put some of the seasoning in here. Okay, same thing underneath here. I'm going to go in here and go up the breast. Open it up. Do the other side. Open it up. Right? You want to cook it with the breast on. So we're going to go start off in the middle here with the breast. So you're going to go here. Throw that in there. Get another scoop in here. Throw that in there. Now you have some here for the thighs and the drumstick. The other side. Okay. Now check this out. So you went ahead and you put it underneath the skin. Okay. And then just start spreading it across. Spread it across through the under the skin here into the actual meat itself. So you'll see out here on the breast, you can just spread it out like that. Look at that. Nice. You see that? Spread out the butter. That's going to give so much flavor, juices, everything in here. Okay? And then whatever you have left over, you can throw up on top. Right? And you don't have to be pretty about it, because it is butter. It will melt and it'll spread by itself. So it's just to give it flavor on the outside of the skin. Make the skin nice and crispy. Give it some flavor. So I don't want to miss out on any of this. So I'm going to go here. There we go. There you go. Just spread it out. Beautiful. Some on the inside of the wing here. Inside of this wing. Very good. So now you can hear that cracking. You want to crack the bone so that it's pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and take this out to the grill. The grill is fired up right now. I'm going to wash my hands prior to doing that, taking it out there. And then I'm going to spray down the grill a little bit with a little bit of olive oil that I have in my little spritzer. Just for it to give it not only that flavor, but then also to make sure that the chicken doesn't get stuck on the grill. So be back in a couple minutes and I'll see you guys outside on the grill. Here we go. Out here with the grill. We got our chicken. We got our, see, you guys thought I forgot about this, didn't. We're going to go ahead and throw this on top, right on top of the grill. So with the grill, like I mentioned, I'm going to go through and spray it down just a little bit. Put some olive oil. Get that on there nice and thick. Now I have a 5-burner grill, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going ahead. I have all of them on high right now. I'm going to leave this on high for about 50 minutes with the bone side down. So I'll show you guys. Let me get this down a little bit. There we go. So we're going to go through and grab the chicken. Bone side down. There we go. There we go. We're going to leave it like that for about 15 minutes. and that's for it to go ahead and cook underneath, and then we'll bring it down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn off the two middle burners. Okay, and what that's going to do, they're going to go ahead and put it on indirect heat, which is what we want for the chicken to cook evenly. So, as you guys can see right here, you guys can see I'm going to go ahead and turn off these here. I'm going to leave the outside ones on, and that'll go through and help me with the even cook of the meat. So we'll leave it down here for about 10-15 minutes. Eventually we'll measure it up. We want the chicken to get up to about 160. Once it is at 160, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over to the skin side for about 3-4 minutes back on high with all the burners on, and that'll give you that nice crispy skin on the outside. So it'll be nice and juicy and tender on the inside with this crispy skin on the outside. So we'll be back in a couple minutes and I'll show you guys what we're talking about. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes. We're going to go ahead and check on the meat now. Oh yeah, check this out. Look at that deal. See that? You can see the bottom. There you go. See a little bit there. I don't want to flip it over there. So all we're doing is making sure that it cooks on the bottom. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and turn these suckers down. Okay. Keep my external ones up on high. And actually what I'm going to do, hold on. This one over this way a little bit. There we go. And you got all that butter and the garlic and everything that's melting on there, right? So all the seasoning that we put on top. Now is when I like to go ahead and put the seasoning on here. So there we go. Yeah, baby. And the reason why, again, is because you put the butter, you put the rosemary, everything on here, and melt it on, and now you're going to get that nice wetness, and then with the seasoning on top, it'll just grab it really good. And so, let me just put some more on this side. Remember I told you guys, don't forget about the sides, right? Sides are super important. What's over here? There you go. You guys can see the chicken's already turning white there, which means it's almost going to be done. So right now I have, again, it's a 5 burner. I have the 2 middle ones off. I have the I'm going to call this number 1, 2, 3, 4. I have number 4 on and number 1 on. I have 2 and 3 off. And that'll just go ahead and help warm it up on the sides and give it an even cook. So very simple, easy dinner to fix. I mean, cut out the backbone, season it, put the butter in there, and then just like the way I like to do it, I like to go ahead and flare it up in the middle, make sure it cooks from underneath because of the bone, and then eventually go through and turn those off on the insides, and turn the outsides on high, and that'll just go ahead and it'll be like a convection oven, right? Eventually I'll come back. I have my external temperature gauge here, and I'll plug it in. Once we hit 160, I'll flip it over on the skin side, cook it for about 3-4 minutes on high. That'll give you that crispiness, and then we'll have dinner. We have potatoes, mashed potatoes going in, or we got potatoes going in for mashed potatoes, so we're going to pair that up with mashed potatoes today. So give it another 15-20 minutes, and then I'll come back out. Alright, it's been about 25 minutes or so. Going to check the internal temperature. Let's take a look here to see how it's looking. There we go. That's the color you want from the seasoning. You see that? That is beautiful. And you see I have my external, this one on. I got the ones over here on, nothing underneath it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn on the flames right underneath it. Alright, those are going. And we're going to turn the rest of them up to high. So once we put them all on high, what it does, it'll go through and give it the last cook. External temperature, let's see where we're at. I'll show you guys here. So it's jumping pretty high. Looking at 133, 135. Remember, we want to get up to about 160, 165. And the reason why is now that I have the other burners on high, we'll flip it over for about 4 or 5 minutes, and that'll top it off. So we're about 147, slowly climbing. So seems we're going to be done within 5 minutes or so. Currently at 148. So again, real simple dinner. Not much to do. I mean, backbone, spread it, season it. I mean, put the butter on. The butter's key, right? Because the butter's going to give it that juiciness on the inside. And then again, you guys saw at the end when I put it on for about 15 minutes for it to start cooking and melting the butter, and then eventually I put the top seasoning on. That's the way I like to do it, and you guys saw the result, right? It goes through and it crisps it up. It makes it nice because the butter acts like a binder, and it'll go through and help the seasoning on top stay on the skin. So we're at about 153. Let me check the other breast here. Same thing, 153 and climbing slowly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it like that for about 3-4 minutes. There we go. Let me close this up. And what you want to do, you don't want to keep the lid on. I kept the lid on right now because of the video itself, but you want to make sure that you keep all that heat in there, that it just flows through, and it'll cook the chicken evenly, which is what you want. So we'll let the temperature get back up. Hopefully these last couple of minutes it'll get up to the 160, 65 temperature that we're looking for. I'll turn the skin over. I mean, the skin looks crispy right now with just cooking it bone side down, but we'll flip it over, make sure that it gets that nice char on the outside with the seasoning. And important step that we're going to go ahead and do right after I pull it out, you gotta let it rest. You gotta let it rest 15-20 minutes. So don't cut it right away, because what happens is all the juices are flowing and they're not in the actual meat itself. So it's just like a regular steak. What you want to do, you want to let the juices go back and get back into the meat, so that you don't cut it and then all the juices leave and you end up with a dry chicken. So even though we are going to be done with the process of cooking, you do want to go through and then let it rest for about 15-20 minutes, so that the juices go back and go back into the meat, and then eventually the meat will also cool down to a temperature where you're able to hold it and be able to cut it. So give it a couple minutes and then we'll get it there. All right, we waited about 5 minutes now. We're gonna go ahead and try it again, see if we got up to that 160. Oh yeah. Once you get that heat high, it'll go through and you get the fumes running your face. Let's see here. Immediately it jumps to 140. We had started like at 120 last time. It's already at 150, 155. So I think we're gonna be done here. Oh yeah, we're at 160. So now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna go through. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is go ahead and flip the chicken onto the skin side. Okay, we got up to 160. And you wanna have this on high heat when you do it. So, oh yeah. So we're gonna close this up. Okay. We're gonna leave that on there for about another 3-4 minutes, and again, that's to go ahead and give it that char on the outside, crisp up the skin, get the heat up to where we want it, which is 165. Anything over 165, you're overcooking the meat. So prior to flipping it, it had hit 160, climbing up. So you're gonna go ahead and leave it on here for, like I mentioned, 3-4 minutes, and then pull it out, let it sit for a good 15-20, and then we'll cut it up. Mashed potatoes are done. We got gravy going, so show you guys the dish once we're done. So we're gonna pull out the chicken now. Then 5 minutes. Let's see what we're working with here. Oh yeah. Beautiful. And there's the chicken right there. Right, got that char. Wow, that looks delicious. So we're gonna let that rest for about, let me start turning off these burners. We're gonna let that rest for 15-20 minutes and then cut it open, serve it, and then I'll show you guys a picture. Alright guys, so we let the chicken rest for about 18 minutes or so. It's cool to the touch. It's still warm. Good enough for dinner. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start slicing it. So I'll show you guys here. There we go. So first thing you want to do, you want to make sure, I mean, we talked about the skin being crispy, right? And look at this. Look at that. That is. Look. It's beautiful. Right? This extra darkness, don't get scared. That's part of the marinade, and then also of the juices from the bottom part of the chicken that were on the grill. So it's more flavor. So what you want to do, you want to see here, you want to make sure that you cut as close as you can to the drumstick, so that you don't lose any of the skin that goes on to the breast, right? You want to keep cutting. Look at this falling apart. You want to find the bone. Bam. Found it, cut it. That's one piece. Go to the other leg. Beautiful. Look at that. You can see that juice, just beautiful. Okay. Now with the wings, go in. There's a bone here. Kind of, there you go. I want to cut into that bone. And actually, what that was in. That's all the ribs from the backside, right? You don't need that. So if that comes out, you can just get rid of that. You can break it up. I mean, this thing's been, you know what? Total cooking time was about 50 minutes to an hour. And you can see, I mean, the wings are coming apart. Everything's pretty much coming apart. You know what? Let me see if I could just pull this one off. Let me cut the skin, because I don't want the skin to come off the breast. There you go. Look at that. I mean, you guys can see, I mean, they're coming apart. You could go ahead and cut that at the joint. Separate them. And now the breast here. You just go straight down the middle. There we go. I'll show you the breast. Look at that. Look at, I mean, it's still dripping. Nice and juicy. Beautiful. Now remember, you are going to have some of the ribs down here. So you could go through and cut that off. There we go. No more bone. Very good. On the other side, same thing. Nice and juicy. Here's the rest of those ribs that didn't come off. There we go. I mean, that's the skin. I mean, look at that. Still have some bones on it, but this here, oh, very good. Oh, you can taste the butter. You can taste the salt, the pepper. It's delicious. Nice and moist. So let me see here. I don't want to cut up too much of the skin here, but this bone here. There we go. There we go. See, look at, that's all that skin, right? So, oh, I put some bone here. Okay. And I want to make sure you get all the bone out. Right, that's all the cartilage right there. Yeah, the other one came off, so good. So I'll move this out of the way here. And this is what you're left with. Fantastic. Right. I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you. So slicing some of this. Breast. You can hear the juice and the meat. I'll grab this little end piece. I mean, look at that. Super juicy. Smells delicious. Fantastic flavor. So I'm going to go plate this and then set up a picture. But that's it, guys. It took me what? Took me... I'm sorry, that chicken is so delicious. It took me 10 minutes, 15 minutes to prep it all up. Take the gizzards out. season it with the butter, with the garlic. We did the rosemary, salt, pepper, and then set it up. Preheat the grill. Get that out there again for 50 minutes. High, all your burners high. And then what you want to do is bring it down. Turn off the two middle ones. Depending if you have 34, I have 5 burners, so I turn off the 2 middle ones, left the 2 outside ones on. That cooks for about 45 to 55 minutes. You want to get up to 165. And then the last couple of minutes, you want to turn all the burners back on. And then the last 5 minutes, you want to flip it over so you can get that nice crispy skin. And I showed you guys the skin came out fantastic. So going to go plate this, and then I'll take a picture. Enjoy. Again, go ahead and subscribe. Leave some comments if you have any. And we'll see you next time. Smoking DJ. Thank you.